1st Battalion advances with the tanks, which are dispersed at 50-yard intervals. The tanks draw most of the artillery fire from German guns positioned about 4,000 yards to the east. The Marines advance steadily as they pass through the forward foxholes of 23rd Infantry into the wheat fields. The 75th Company stops advancing when their last tank in its area explodes after taking a direct hit. The 83rd and 84th Companies move up to fill the gap between the two lead battalions, with the 83rd on the left and 84th on the right. The 97th Company and 82nd Companies remain in support behind the 84th and 83rd respectively. At 10:30, it is reported that the advance line is about 0.6 miles east of the old front line, but taking heavy direct artillery fire and flanking machine gun fire. 10 minutes later, 83rd and 84th Companies both report 60% casualties. In response to this, 82nd Company and later elements of Headquarters Company are sent forward. By 11:45, Lieutenant Colonel Lee reports 1st Battalion is held up about 300 yards west with no French troops on the right flank. He also states casualties are 30% and growing. Lieutenant Mason takes over as commander of what was less of the 84th Company and leads his Marines across open space to take an elevated strongpoint, Hill 160, which is about 600 yards north. This position is the furthest advance by the 2nd Infantry Division in the battle, some 700 yards short of the Soissons-Château-Thierry Road. 3rd Battalion, 6 Marines start the day with 36 officers and 850 enlisted Marines. By 2000 hours, only 20 officers and 415 enlisted Marines remain. There is no facility for getting the walking wounded out of the fields between the front line and the battalion command post, and it proves impossible to move from one position to another without drawing fire. During the day, Division HQ and the Division command posts remain in place, with all subordinate HQs in and around Verzy. Sometime during the afternoon of 19 July, U.S. Army General James Harbord assesses the situation and decides that the 2nd Infantry Division can hold where they are but not commit to movement forward. On this basis, Harbord requests 20th Corps relieve 2nd ID and continue the attack using a 2nd Line Division passing through the front line. The request for relief is approved by French command. Word of impending relief reaches the forward elements around 2100, 1.2 miles short of its objective. The French 58th Colonial Division moves from 20th Corps Reserve on the night of 19-20 July. The 2nd Infantry Division attack on 19 July has reached a point where it cannot be supported by artillery unless the artillery is moved forward. Under the existing condition, it is not considered advisable. The attack is held up on the right, and the left flank is threatened as the Moroccan 1st Division has not advanced far enough forward. With their primary supply route to the Mons salient cut and the rail hub in Soissons within range of artillery, the Germans are hard-pressed to maintain their armies within the salient. Faced with the prospect of having the forces in the Mons salient trapped, the Germans have little choice but to give up their gains. After stubborn German resistance and ferocious fighting, Soissons eventually falls to the Allies on 2 August 1918. When the campaign officially ends on 6 August, the front runs on a straight line from Soissons to Reims. However, by the evening of 22-23 July, the Allies have already achieved a decisive victory. Operation Hagen, a 39 Division attack against the British sector, is cancelled on 21 July. The follow-up offensive, Operation Kursfürst, is supposed to follow Hagen with a drive to Paris, but never goes beyond the preliminary planning stage. Germany never regains the initiative and is on the defensive until the end of the war. As always, stay safe, stay salty, Semper Fi, and carry on.